Howdy ladies and gents, my name is Thom Gibson and today we are looking at the best $40 webcam for distance learning. I want to start by saying the question you need to answer is, do you actually need a new webcam? And the answer to that is it kind of depends. Are you using a PC that doesn't have anything already built in, or are you working on a Mac? In today's video, I'm gonna be testing two $40 webcams, the Amcrest 1080p. They actually reached out to me on Instagram and said, hey, we would love to reimburse you for this camera if you end up reviewing it. I said, sure, I'll give it an honest review. So I don't know if I don't end up recommending it, if they'll actually reimburse me, so we'll see. And the Anivia 1080p, which is $35. I'm gonna be comparing those two webcams to the built-in webcam on my MacBook Pro, and on the PC side of things, I'm gonna be comparing it to my GoPro Hero 4, which isn't a webcam, but it kind of gives you a barometer of which to compare the other two webcams to. So let's first take a look at the Mac and see if either of these webcams are better than the built-in webcam that's already there. So this is the built-in webcam on my MacBook Pro. This is the 2017, 2016 MacBook Pro. It's not that bad. It's not too wide, it's not too narrow. The lighting is actually generally not too bad, but this is what it is looking like. And this is the Anivia. You can see like my face is, the whiter parts of my face are pretty white and the reds are kind of red. And you can kind of see how wide the picture is, but this is the Anivia webcam. So here's what the three webcams look like when you don't do any customizations. It's just you plug it in, you turn it on, and you see how it looks. The thing with having a Mac is there is not an easy way or a free way to customize what your webcam looks like. But there is an $8 app that will help you do this, so you can adjust the brightness, the contrast, and kind of make it look a little bit more of what you're hoping for. So if you want to adjust some of your settings, there's an app called WEBCAM Settings. It's $8 or $9, I believe. And so this is the Amcrest right now, and what I can do with the app, once I open it up, I can just say, okay, it's the USB camera 2. I'm using a separate program called OBS just to show you what's happening here. But you can also pull up Zoom or Skype or whatever, and then you can see these changes that you're making. When you click on your camera, you can actually adjust the brightness. Maybe it's too dark, and you can kind of see the difference of what happens here. You can adjust the contrast of this, and so I generally don't like it too contrasty because that just looks kind of weird, but just lower that a little bit. I wouldn't mess with the hue because you can kind of see that well, yeah, I kind of keep it in the middle. It makes more sense, not too green, not too purple. Saturation, also like how red and saturated the colors are. Not saturated makes it more black and white, less colorful. But your big ones are gonna be brightness and contrast. Gamma has a little control over some of that too. And so if you need to brighten it up but in a different way than the regular brightness, you can do that. And then you have it looking like this compared to my built-in webcam, which looks like this. I can adjust these with the built-in webcam too, which is kind of nice. So if you're just like not liking how yours is looking right now, you can do the same thing. A little less contrast, maybe a little bit more there, and then you can be in control of this. And so the webcam settings is actually pretty powerful. You can even go into advanced and stuff, but I would stick with just kind of brightness and contrast, and then you can save it there. And then when you close it out, it just keeps your settings as they are. Let's take a look at the Anivia real quick. So here is our Anivia. I can go back to webcam, UVC camera this time. And then I can also make these adjustments. I feel it's kind of contrasty, but the brightness on my face, I feel is just, it's hard to get rid of that. I can lower the brightness, but you can see that those really bright lights on my cheeks are still kind of there. I would keep the white balance at auto. You can even see that different cameras have different things that you can adjust, but the big ones are going to be brightness and contrast. So here's the difference between the webcam and the Amcrest and the Anivia, so you can see what it looks like when everything has been optimized. So now let's jump over to the PC and compare these two webcams to the GoPro Hero 4 Silver, which is connected with a little device called a Cam Link. I'm not really recommending that for most teachers because it is not inexpensive. The GoPro is $300, $200, depending on if you find a used one. And then the Cam Link, the little dongle that you can plug the GoPro in so that way your computer can read it as a webcam, costs about $130. I'll put both of those in the description down below if maybe your school's paying for it, or if you've got some disposable income, or you just want to level up the video that you're doing in your distance learning. But that is what I'm gonna be comparing the two webcams to. And so just to get an idea, these are what the three webcams look like without any adjustments, just plugged in and set to record. And so to adjust the camera settings, you have to use a software called OBS. And so it's kind of weird because I'm using that software to screen record so that it creates this little vortex here. But OBS is free. OBS is a software that lets you live stream to the internet, but you don't actually have to use it for that. I'm just using it to adjust my camera settings because it has some camera settings in there. And when you first open it up, you'll have none of these scenes here, and you'll have none of the sources here. You'll just click add, and you can call this camera setup or whatever, anything, and then that'll let you start adding some of your sources. So you won't have any of these options here, but if you just click on this plus sign, you basically are saying, it's asking, what do you want to add to your screen? We're gonna go ahead and add a video capture device, which is gonna be our webcam, and then you can call it webcam capture, whatever you want to call it. You'll click OK, and then it asks you, okay, well, what device do you want to use? It's not showing any of mine right now because I've already got them right here and they're being used, but you'll pick the camera that you're doing. And mine, the Amcrest is the USB one, and then the Anivia is the UVC one. And then you'll click on it, and then you'll click on Configure Video, and it'll take you to something that looks like this. And so here you see the Amcrest video, and then if I want to actually adjust some of these settings, I'm gonna click on Configure Video. And then you can actually adjust some of these things. You don't have to be a pro at this, but if things are like super bright, like all the white part of my face is like really bright, you can lower the contrast and that kind of adjusts it a little bit. You notice if I raise it, it's like, oh, that's real bad. You can lower it down a little bit. I can lower the actual brightness down. Hue, you can mess with it and see how that changes it. That's what I usually do if I'm not sure what it does. I'm gonna change that back to 0 or 4, move it down to 0. Saturation, again, you can adjust it. It's like that makes the colors a lot deeper, or like not saturated at all. It's like all black and white. I wouldn't mess too much with that. Sharpness, you can see, okay, that makes it super weird, and then this is like kind of blurry. I would leave that one kind of in the middle. And then gamma, let me lower my gamma around there. Okay, white balance, this is like if you want it to be warmer. Oh, let's uncheck that for auto. If you want it to be a little warmer, a little bit cooler, you might be like, this is weird, I don't like any of it. Just go with auto on that one then. Backlight compensation, it doesn't look like it's doing anything there because I don't have any backlight. And then gain, you probably don't want to raise that up. So this is probably the best that I can do. I'm gonna cut the contrast out a little bit, and then the brightness. And so this is kind of like the best I can do with this. And I click apply. And then I click OK. So still not super great, but it was better than what it was. And I could do the same process with the Anivia. You'll notice that some of these have different, here's my Anivia one that I'm looking at right now. Some of these have different options, but if you click on, you can see your camera control and your video processing. Again, I feel it's super contrasty, so let me lower that a little bit. Okay, still super bright. Let me lower the brightness some. That's a little bit better, I guess. Let me lower saturation. I can leave the same. Sharpness, maybe lower that some. And then white balance, again, I can make that auto or not. I'm gonna keep it as auto. So this doesn't fix this, and you can see how when I get real close to it, it actually adjusts it a little bit, and I give it a little light. But then when I back up, it kind of compensates again because there's more light coming on my face. And so these take a little bit of work. The auto features that are built into it kind of make it a challenge, but with a PC, you can adjust them a little bit. I'll click apply. And so just to give you a barometer, I'm now looking at the cam link right here. This is the cam link right here. This is the Nivea right here. And this is the Amcrest right here. These have all been optimized as much as I could, given that you don't have a ton of control with all of them. But this is the look between the GoPro, the Nivea, and the Amcrest. And so those are a couple of the webcam options you have available to you compared on a built-in Mac webcam and compared to a GoPro Hero 4 on a PC set up as a webcam. Let me know in the comments, are you going to get one of these webcams, or did you learn that you could customize whatever webcam that you have using some of these other tools? If you're doing distance learning and you're creating videos for your students to watch asynchronously, I have created a course for teachers called Create Successful Videos for Distance Learning, where I use the most basic of tools. I actually talk about some of these webcams and the built-in webcam on the Mac, but the course takes 1 hour to complete. You go at your own pace, watching short videos on how to actually plan your videos, create your videos, and assign and assess your videos. I created it with the beginner in mind, so if the whole idea of creating videos for distance learning has been a bit of a struggle for you, or you haven't started because you're just like, I don't know where to start, then this is the course for you. I've linked to the course down below. You can also go to thomgibson.com/distance learning to enroll in the 1 hour video course. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Thom Gibson, and hopefully you learned something that'll help you create a more meaningful and memorable experience for your students, even if it is just leveling up your videos so the students aren't like, I can't see you, you're blurry, and it doesn't look good. I'll catch you in the next video.